Welcome to Dueling Aces for 10-16. I think that's a Monday.
You think?
Yeah, hope
We
so.
got the Bruiser who pees freely. We got Adam. I just read that one. We've got your host up there in the upper right corner, George, and just me, just Zolt.
I just now noticed yours too. Too good to host.
Regular old Zolt.
I like how his says digital creator and vidcast host, and he hasn't been here in like 6 weeks.
He's too busy in creating and hosting.
No, I'm
Just
just
not
just sitting around and representing now for coaching up the 7th grade Vermilion Sailors.
Oh,
to
good
undefeated
lord.
season.
Good lord, your internet's lagging worse than 50s era Godzilla. That's awesome.
Yep, it is.
I'll be switching to this phone real quick.
Yep. But nope, been just a tad bit busy. The boys were ran into a beautiful, perfect season. Stood out 4 teams and never let anybody score in the second half. We're pretty proud.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now on with the show.
Yes.
Hey, let's start off with at least a perfect football team.
There is no more in the NFL.
Because there is exactly.
I didn't know we were going to get into Michigan. Anyway,
Wow.
I have a question.
I said good football team.
You said
we are
said perfect.
Well, perfect and good.
Dominant.
We literally discussed briefly the game right before we went on air. So the Giants Bills. I have a question for you, regardless of the penalty that wasn't, regardless of Buffalo looking very, very broken.
Yeah.
And the Giants D actually looking pretty damn good. I have a question for you. Your team is 1-4.
1-5.
Were.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
1-4. You are literally a touchdown away from winning that game. You are on the 3-inch line.
If that.
How the hell do you not give it to Saquon Barkley?
Because the same drive before the half, he couldn't get shit. He couldn't get anything. I'm just saying because that was, think about it, that was going to come back to haunt them, and it did. Because they didn't score before the half, and they didn't get up on the line to spike it in time to get to the 3.
Well, no, they should have. The worst part about that is you were not supposed to hand off the ball. You were supposed to try to get 2 quick throws.
They did it. They did it backwards. Is what they did.
Yeah.
They should have ran. Stupid. They should have ran in the 4th and should have passed at the half.
There's a reason they're 1-5.
And it's weird to think that Brian Daboll was the coach of the year last year, and now he's got 1 win this year.
Well, I mean, it shows you one thing, is that he wasn't brought in to fix Daniel Jones.
And he's broken.
He is very broken. He's more broken than he was.
Which I just got word that looks like Richardson's going to out for the surgery, so he's going to be out for the year.
He's done for the year. If he's going for the surgery, he's out for the year.
Stop.
Which is kind of weird to think that it's got to be obviously that serious if you're going to get surgery, but like to think that he's already contemplating the surgery this quick, like he just got injured last week.
Yeah. Well, remember though, he's started 4 games. He only finished 1.
True. That is true. And he doesn't want to see himself be like Tua and end up on, injured so much that like one more injury and you could be done for your career when it just started.
Yep. It kind of throws the whole kibosh on the Colts theory of, well, we're just going to start him all the time. We're going to get him as much experience as we can. Well, that didn't work so well.
Yeah, as much as I like to say, I like Mississippi Mustache and this and that, I'm hoping for another repeat performance that he had on yesterday again this coming Sunday against the Browns.
The Browns defense will score a lot.
Yes. Which will be cool though, because Indy is wearing their Indiana Knights alternate jerseys, so they're the black ones.
Am I the only one in the group that picked that game right?
Yeah, because you just did it to be. I don't know why you did it, because I know for a fact you didn't actually believe that they were going to win.
I didn't think that they were going to win, but I've seen the Browns do dumb things in dumb spots. And of all the teams that do it to, San Francisco seemed like the right one. Because it was the West Coast team coming east.
And then turn around and lose this week.
That translates.
And then turn around and lose to Indy.
I think they'll beat Indy too.
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks went into Cincinnati and they lost to.
And Cincinnati wasn't even that impressive yesterday. Their defense was, but
No, there were a few times I was watching Red Zone and DK Metcalf is standing wide open by 15 yards, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Twice, I was like, "Yeah." I mean, DK just kind of went and did this and walked off the sideline. I was like, "Uh-oh." Somebody's gonna be watching film today, going, "Damn, missed him."
yeah, I know there was a time that Walker missed Cooper, and Cooper he made a sick move and he busted the ankles of the DB, and the DB fell down and he was standing in the middle of the field wide open with nobody within 10 yards of him. But you know, those are the ones when you see that on film, you're like, oh boy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch a whole lot of football this weekend. It was a busy weekend in my house.
Was it?
Well, the girl child turned 18 on Friday.
I forgot she did.
She got her license.
Oh Lord.
And then we went to Cedar Point Friday night because she wanted to go for Halloween, and that was a mistake.
Cold.
It wasn't cold. It was all right. They were at 98% capacity.
It was that packed?
Yeah.
No thanks. That's when it's just no fun.
Dude, I take the back way in. If you get off at Rye Beach and you take that causeway.
If there was a way you could boot people out of the chat, that'd definitely get booted. This is also the same guy that said Brandon Whedon for the Hall of Fame too, so.
But normally I take that back way in.
Mm-hmm.
This Friday, for whatever reason, I decided to just take the main way in by Kalahari. I sat on that causeway for an hour.
Yeah, I remember somebody saying that if you're headed to Cedar Point, don't.
It was bad.
And that's when you just know it's not even going to be fun at that point, because you're going to be waiting too long for everything.
Well, it rained all day Saturday, and I had friends who went up Saturday, and they said almost everything was running until the wind picked up, and then everything shut down.
Sean. And then there's Durkin's comment too.
We went to Dayton on Saturday to go see my wife's grandma and her side of the family for my daughter's birthday, and then yesterday was a kind of a busy day cleaning the house and stuff. So I didn't get to watch a whole lot of football, but I did catch a little bit of like the Sports Center update in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I don't know if the offenses in the NFL are still lagging behind, or the dearth of defensive talent that has come into the league in the last 5 years is ushering in a new golden era of defenses, because man, the top defenses are stellar and the bottom defenses are absolutely terrible. There's no in between.
No, it was hard to like the Bills defense was supposed to be pretty good, and they've been hit and miss lately. We got a nice game coming up this weekend. I know we'll talk about when we get to the picks later, but there's a couple good games this week.
Looking at the schedule, it looked like there were a few good games this weekend. I know a college football's offering us a couple of good ones this weekend too. With
I'm getting yelled at because the Ohio State Penn State game is at noon, but Michigan State's at 7:30. I'm like, who cares? Just win the game.
It's Ohio State, Penn State's nothing. The Michigan State game is everything.
Well, it won't be this year.
well, Ohio State, Penn State. Listen,
Remember that has happened. Well, okay, and maybe not this year. And that's the game that you guys always seem to.
That was our last loss in the Big Ten.
Look,
Well-
I'm a huge rivalry games, you throw the records out the window kind of guy. Totally get it. We're winning this by 30.
Michigan State's bad.
They just lost to Rutgers.
They are bad.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I felt once Sud said what he said, I felt bad. But to be honest, like let's be real here. If you go out and lose to Rutgers, you didn't show up to play the game.
No, if that had been, granted, the situation he wasn't in, with everything that he's going through, had it been, she was on the other foot and they beat Michigan, he'd have been in that chat on me and Zolt like you wouldn't believe.
Right. But
I was going to say, usually if Suds is occupied with something, football's like the last thing on his mind.
and it's whatever. But
Just the truth.
that Penn State Ohio State game does matter to Michigan a little bit, because if Ohio State goes out and loses to Penn State, and Michigan and Penn State don't play this year, I don't think.
No, we play each other on November 11th.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to beat both of them anyway. So
I mean, you had to beat both of them anyway. But if they beat Ohio State, and then you beat Penn State on the 11th, that Ohio State game, yeah, throw the records out the window because it's the biggest game that either one of you are going to play all year. But that game really doesn't mean anything because you're still going to go to the Big Ten title game.
See, no, they would probably. Well, how would they'd probably send Ohio State if they win? Wouldn't they would win, right? Because even though with the same record, they have to win over us.
But you have if Penn State beats Ohio State,
We beat Penn State,
and Penn State would be higher than Ohio State because they own the tiebreaker over Ohio State. You beat
That's
Penn
weird,
State. You beat Penn State. You then own the tiebreaker over Penn State. It's back to what it was.
Let's not jinx it to that.
Doesn't it turn somewhere into just whoever hasn't been there recent?
I think it's like 4 tiebreakers in because was it 2018 or 2019? We had a similar situation where Penn State should have gone
to the Rose Bowl or something, but Ohio State
to the Big Ten title game, and Ohio State went.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say it might be the 4th tiebreaker, but in that scenario, it would be the 1st tiebreaker because it's Ohio State.
Right. I want to see Michigan run the table so bad. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a Michigan fan, but I want to see Michigan win the national championship.
Dude, Facebook is going to hate me if that happens.
I want to see Michigan win the national championship purely for selfish reasons. Not because I wear maize and blue every Saturday, not because I hang a giant flag from my house. No, I want to watch people around here who live and die by the fucking the Buckeyes cry. Just cry.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm losing half my Facebook people because I'm going to be that guy that they're going to hate.
Oh, I listen. I'll go egg it on. I don't care.
You know what? I am not particular about my fandom or about other people's fandoms, sir. Welcome to the bandwagon. We are happy to have you. Beverages are over there.
Is it okay if I wear a maize and blue hat along with my burnt orange T-shirt every once in a while?
Sure.
Just not next year, though.
No, I'll be in full burnt orange for that game.
Oh, Dallas is screwing me.
Well, let me ask you guys this though: if Penn State or Ohio State does beat Penn State, do they go to 1?
No,
No.
no.
Everybody's saying they're gonna jump Michigan too, so I'm just asking a question.
Oh, who
I
said
think,
That's the diehards.
I think you can see
Die Hard? Look, as a Buckeye fan, more realistic than freaking diehards here. No, you're lucky you're sitting at 3.
Right.
well.
I mean, technically, I think you should be sitting more around 5. I don't think you should be at 3. You're lucky you're at 3.
I think
Listen,
Washington should have moved up.
I don't think Texas should have dropped out of the top 10. So, but
How far did they fall?
when they lost to Oklahoma,
Yeah.
To 8.
no.
No, Oklahoma moved up to 8.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, because they were out of the top 10.
Yeah, Texas. Was out of the
Oklahoma
top
moved
10.
up to 8.
It was like 12, wasn't it?
Yeah.
11.
11.
Right ahead of Alabama at the time.
They moved. They were right ahead of Alabama.
So Bama's still out of the top 10?
They might not be. Let the research department. Hey, let the research department get in on this.
Thank you. The only way that the Buckeyes jump Michigan if Michigan loses or the Buckeyes beat them. That's when they jump.
I'm just so sick of the you haven't played nobody argument.
We're in the Big Ten. Guess what? We're going to start playing people.
Yeah.
All right. The current top 4.
Go ahead.
The current top 4: Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State. The rest of the top 10: Washington, Oklahoma, Penn State, Texas jumped up, Oregon
On a bye week.
Oregon dropped, North Carolina jumped 2. They're ahead of Alabama.
Huh.
North Carolina's at 10, 11 to 15. Alabama, Oregon State, Ole Miss, Utah, and then Notre Dame. And then
The big drop from the week.
And then 16 to 20. Notre Dame 15, 16 to 20. Duke, Tennessee, USC.
Who dropped the biggest all week.
Yeah, I was going to say they dropped. That was a lot.
Oh, you got beat by 28. What do you expect?
They dropped 8. LSU is at 19. Mizzou is at 20. Louisville's at 21. Air Force is at 22. Tulane's 23. Iowa at 24. Shout out to Half Hill. And then UCLA's at 25. They dropped 7.
Bad thing about it is Louisville comes out and destroys Notre Dame and then loses to Pitt the following week. Welcome to college football.
The thing is, so you got I could see a scenario where if Ohio State and Michigan continue on the path that they are on, it will end up being 1 versus 2.
That's certainly conceivable.
I don't think Ohio State jumps Michigan. I think it is likely that at some point Michigan will jump Georgia.
There's people saying that Michigan already should have because of the way they struggled those 2 weeks against Auburn and whoever else that they struggled against, South Carolina.
But listen, this weekend's the largest outdoor cocktail party. So,
yeah,
throw the records out the window on that one, too.
I honestly think nobody jumps Georgia unless they lose.
Yeah.
That's just, it's going to take a loss for them to drop.
I don't care how bad Florida is. That's like Auburn and Alabama. I think Florida could beat Georgia.
Tennessee got to play Georgia, or Georgia's got to go to Tennessee also. And Tennessee was the one that upset Alabama last year.
And almost upset Georgia, remember?
Going to say, and that's who Tennessee plays this week. Tennessee, Alabama this week.
In Alabama.
No less. Yeah.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if Tennessee beat Alabama in Bama?
Oh,
I think they might have to boot Saban out.
Well,
Bill O'Brien, the next coach.
that's the thing. What if Saban has a 3-loss season?
He's God down there. They won't get rid of. He's gonna have to retire on his own.
Hey, Bear Bryant was God too.
But didn't he get fired though? Didn't he just die? I mean,
No, I think he got fired.
okay, that was way before my time.
But you got
Am I missing who's Georgia got this week, or are they on a bye?
They're on a bye, I think.
Florida. Oh no, they're on a bye this week. They play
Then
Florida,
it's Florida,
2 weeks.
which they're going to be without Brock Bowers, so that's a big loss too, though.
World's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Yeah, that's in Jacksonville, isn't it?
It's always in Jacksonville. It's somehow equidistant between the two schools. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I wish they'd play the Ohio State-Michigan game in an equidistant spot.
The hell with that.
What?
Yeah, you will. It's called Indy.
Toledo?
Cleveland.
Oh, Brown Stadium would be pretty cool, though. Not going to lie. There'd be a lot of fights, though.
Oh, there'd be too many fights. Well, I mean, what other?
When does the
What
first
other-
playoff rankings come out? Next week?
This week, I think. It's after week 6.
Not that they matter, the first one, but
No, but I mean, what are so far through 6 weeks of the season? What are your guys' takeaways from college football this year? Like what?
I'm glad to see the Colorado buzz finally wore off.
Yeah.
It was a matter of time.
Yeah. I mean, they're still going to hear about it because it's Dion and what Dion's doing there. But I think the thing that gets me is I love talking to Ohio State fans and how they're not happy with McCord at all. Like, okay, you guys are undefeated, so what does it matter? You know what I mean?
Oh, I was way off.
Yeah, I just looked it up too.
It's
Right.
week 9, so
Yeah.
Halloween.
On Halloween is when the first playoff rankings.
Spooky.
Wow.
Somebody's gonna get a trick, and somebody's gonna get a treat. Oh.
Right. Who's getting
Right.
tricked? Who's getting tricked?
Florida State.
Probably.
Well, I see. Unless Georgia drops one to Florida on that game before the rankings, there's no way they get pulled out of first because Michigan doesn't have any big games leading up to it. The only one that Ohio State has is Penn State, and if they beat Penn State, they might jump Michigan in the playoff rankings.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
Anyway,
Makes me sick.
back to the what do y'all think of it? What's your thoughts on the season so far?
I mean, I'm thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody like really, quote unquote, running away. Everybody's, taking shocking loss. It's like everybody's getting losses here and there for who you thought. I mean, I didn't see Alabama dropping out of the top 10. That's a nice little surprise to see that, the team is human after all.
Well, nobody saw. Let's be honest. Nobody saw Texas knocking them out of the top 10.
Right.
Nope. But it's nice to see different squads finally getting up there. I mean, the Big Ten, it took a while for Big Ten to turn around and try to keep a staple up there, and now we've got a couple of teams up there. Last year, it could have been almost 3 or 4. So, in the top 10. So, I mean, the Big Ten showing, hey, we're not going to sit there and take that SEC crap anymore. I mean, it's nice to see a change that it's not all SEC up in the top half.
Well, no, and I said this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about different conferences. I think that with how much talent is located in the SEC, there's only so many roster spots for them to go on SEC teams. And then they got to filter out elsewhere. And now you're starting to see that SEC talent go to Big 10 schools, Big 12 schools, Pac-10 schools.
Well, think about the kid from Michigan State. What, Keon Coleman goes to Florida State and he's been killing it.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, prime example. Andrell Anthony went from Michigan to Oklahoma, was killing it until he got injured in the the Red River rivalry game or whatever.
Red River Shootout.
Yeah, I you can't say that no more.
Well, I heard it called the Red River Shootout on Sirius the other day, and I was so excited.
And Adam, you were right, by the way. I thought the Bear Bryant thing, you were right. He did die a month later after he announced that he was going to retire.
See?
He literally did die.
I thought he got fired.
No, so the dude was like, I'm going to die as a coach, and he practically did.
They said, what is he going to do next? And he replied, probably croak in a week. It actually happened 4 weeks and a day later.
He called it.
He sure did. He point like Babe Ruth?
Right. That's creepy. That's very creepy. That is super creepy. It's like, oh, nothing like calling your shot there.
No.
All right. We ready for the injury report?
No, because my fantasy team is hurting because of a lot of these injuries over the weekend.
I know. That's why I want to get into it.
Just rub it in.
Yes.
Thanks, buddy.
That's what I do. We talked about it before the show. Anthony Richardson looks like he's electing to have surgery on his shoulder, so he is done for the year. Who was that back up there?
Mississippi Mustache.
Right, the mustache guy.
Gardner.
He'll be finishing out the season until he gets hurt.
Calling Nick Foles.
Ryan Tannehill, high right ankle sprain.
Same as last year, I heard.
Yep, expected to miss some time. It's a high ankle sprain. Call him week to week.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Are you starting Levis or are you starting Willis if you're Vrabel? Does it really matter?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, you know what? They're the ones there in practice, seeing them.
Right.
So I have no idea. I honestly don't.
Guys should have kicked that field goal before, too. Morons. Tried Dak Prescott with a 1 yard sneak. Losers. Sorry.
All right.
Let's kick the field goal and are up 10-7 at half.
Let's go to San Francisco for a minute.
Sure.
So, Deebo Samuel's considered day-to-day with a shoulder.
I think McCaffrey's a little more serious. That's what scares me.
Left tackle Trent Williams is day-to-day.
Which, no offense, is it me or is that kind of funny that he goes out there and he takes off Elijah Moore's head and then he gets injured later in the game, like karma at its finest?
Well, how about the pregame fight?
That's what I'm talking about.
Stupid. That was just stupid. And one particular Debo is the one who kicked it off.
Yeah.
Way to go, stupid.
Well, I like how Jimmy Johnson was on Fox 8 talking about, Cleveland, you don't need to be poking the bear. It's like, no, dude, this goes both ways. Don't just try to pin it on the 49ers like they're going to get away scot-free.
All right, CMC. Now, this is the interesting one. I'm just going to read this verbatim. Coach Kyle Shanahan noted Monday is yet to be determined whether the injury that forced McCaffrey out of Sunday's loss to the Browns is an oblique issue, a rib issue, or a combination of the two. They don't even know what the hell's wrong.
Yeah, well, the dude played tough because he was bleeding yesterday.
And
he was in and out, though, too. He came back.
And underwent an MRI today. No results.
Inconclusive, huh?
Well, no, they just haven't said.
Oh, well. When's the trade deadline again?
2 more weeks, isn't it?
I know you're starting to hear more and more rumors coming out.
Let's see.
But that kid they got, he slid in just fine. I think he's all right as a backup.
Oh, Mason.
Yeah. It wasn't that bad.
Moving
It's
on.
Purdy's got to sit there and go, "Oh, that's not 23."
Right.
Moving on to Buffalo, Josh Allen is day to day with a shoulder. Wouldn't worry about nothing there. Dalton Kincaid is in concussion protocol.
Yep.
For anybody who hasn't dropped him in fantasy yet,
I was gonna say already did. That's been a major bust.
Damian Harris, who was taken to a hospital during the game with what was believed to be a neck injury. Result is concussion and a sprained neck. So consider him to week to week, but that could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
Did anybody else notice? And I don't want to sound like an a-hole when I say this, but Damar Hamlin's number being retired to the windows of the
that was weird.
It's a little creepy.
That's weird.
Like you would put his number, like his jersey, in both windows. Like that's a little weird.
Well, it was because that is the squad that turned around and was.
Well, I understand that, but don't advertise it like hey, we saved the guy from dying. I get it, but it's just weird to do it that route.
Let's see.
I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where it's now the Buffalo. It's kind of like you notice that how the colors were for it.
Okay, New Orleans, we actually get real practice information from them because they play Thursday. So Chris Olave was limited today with a toe.
They cut their fourth string quarterback.
Derek Carr is limited with shoulder/chest. Jamal Williams limited with his hamstring. But he's coming back from IR, so the hope is that he might actually be designated to return. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence did not practice with a knee.
He probably will not play this week.
And again, that's a short week. They play Thursday.
Right, so that's probably why they'll hold him out.
Well, that's why they're holding him out of practice. He's not gonna. He'll just walk in on game time and he'll be prepped to go.
For the Rams, Kyron Williams expected to miss week 7 with an ankle.
Yeah, his wasn't as severe as the other running backs I heard.
No, but still, it's an ankle on a running back. So,
right. Yeah, you got to have a good wheel. Can't have one bad wheel. Need two.
And then we're going to bring it around to Detroit, where Jahmyr Gibbs is trending in the right direction to play this week, which would be a good thing because David Montgomery's going to miss some time.
Yeah, dude, and I hate seeing stuff like that where dude's having a hell of a year and then an injury cuts it short, And
it's rib cartilage, so that's one of those things where you can throw the flak jacket on, but that's
ain't gonna do nothing.
Like hell.
Yeah. And guys are gonna target that area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if Gibbs comes back this week, which it's sounding like he might, he's going to be top dog. He's going to have some value. You should definitely consider picking him up.
Trade
in whatever league you're in. I do want to bring up before we get to picks, just so going into this past game, Lions Tampa Bay, Gibbs was out. You've got David Montgomery as your lead back, who then goes down. Your third back is Craig Reynolds, who, if you watched Hard Knocks when they did it last year, he was featured fairly heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show a play, whether if you guys seen it or not, during the game. So, okay, number one, creamsicle uniforms. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Tampa Bay's busting out the creamsicle uniforms." Do y'all remember how bad they were in those days?
Yes.
Okay.
Steve
Brought back memories.
And Vinny Testaverde.
I'm going to play this. I've got the sound off just in case there's anything in the background that we shouldn't play. If you're looking for Craig Reynolds, he's the Flash that suddenly shows up, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh yeah, the block.
Just out of nowhere.
I know. They replayed that, and I was like, "Who the hell was that dude?" Because I mean, St. Brown even looked like, "Oh damn!" And yeah, he did. I loved that. That was awesome.
That was
I mean,
incredible.
And Noah, in my defense, I've seen that before, and I got to see it live at Indy when Michigan played Iowa, and JJ McCarthy did the same thing. Like, so I love when they come out of nowhere like that. It's cool to see, they're still paying attention.
It's one of those things where in the preseason, and you're always trying to break down who's going to make it, who's going to not. What's the
Right.
order of the guys? What's the order of the room? You knew Montgomery and Gibbs were 1 and 2 in some form or fashion. Beyond that, it was a little questionable, but everything you kept hearing was Craig Reynolds the 3. He's going to be the 3. He's already on the team. He is the 3. This is why. I mean, you see a play like that. How many times do you think that tape is being shown in the running back room?
Like, he's on the what to do versus the what not to do.
Yeah. Guess what? Passing down, you will get downfield. You will throw a block. And you will spring St. Brown for a touchdown.
Yes. He had a good game yesterday.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. I was going to say, when we're getting into those picks, I'm looking forward to the Lions game this week. I really am. It is. I mean, they can literally, they've seen the blueprints. And if they definitely take notes after seeing what Pittsburgh did to Baltimore, the Lions could really turn around and walk into Baltimore and go, yeah, we're for real.
I will say this. Running quarterbacks since last year have been a problem. So I'm curious how this game's going to go. I do want to point out the fact this is week 7. So if you have any of these teams, you ain't playing. Carolina, Cincinnati, Dallas, New York Jets, Tennessee, Houston. This is the first big bye week.
Yeah.
And to make it even crazier, nobody's on a bye week next week.
Nobody?
Nobody.
Which is that's really weird.
And just again, crazy numbers this week. We have 4 games where the total is under 40.
I know one game that it's not.
4 boring ass games.
Literally, like prison inmate games.
I already see one.
None of the spreads are double digits. The highest we have, I believe, is at 8.5. And that's going to be pretty predictable when we get to it.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Thursday, where Jacksonville at New Orleans. We went through that injury list.
So what are we going to get? C.J. Beathard versus Jameis Winston?
Maybe.
Oh, God.
Could be.
Oh.
No, Trevor will be out there.
And for obviously some of these numbers are influenced by injuries that you know and don't. So if you think Carr and you think Trevor Lawrence are both playing this week, this is over under a 39 right now. You might want to punch that over because I think that's why it's so low. Is because
they don't know they're yeah.
New Orleans is favored by 3.
It could be one of those very defensive games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see that at some point possibly, but watch, I say that and then it'll be a shootout.
I was going to say the Saints look like crap against Houston this week.
And Jacksonville, there hasn't been anything to write home about. They put up some points this week.
Right.
But now it's a question of, number 1, how healthy is Lawrence? And number 2, can they do it again? Because...
be consistent.
Yeah, they put up points, and then they just go silent for weeks.
I was going to say, they're on a nice 3-game lag, especially with ETN. Just plummeted to the set.
Anybody actually want to pick it?
Jacksonville for me.
That was the direction I was leaning to.
Yeah, I think I would trust Jacksonville more than I would, no matter who's the starting quarterback in New Orleans.
I mean, unless Taysom Hill's going to start, then I might think about it. I mean, I would almost rather trust Taysom Hill than anybody on that Saints team.
True.
Bruiser.
What are the teams? I'm sorry. I was in the little boys' room.
Jaguars, Saints.
Oh, the Jaguars for sure.
Moving on to game number 2, we have Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Battle for the South. Again, over-under is below 40. It's 38.5. Bucks are favored by 2.5 at home.
I'm curious what the over-under is how many picks Baker and Desmond Ritter are going to throw. Just throwing that out there.
4.
Well,
I'm taking the over all day.
I was going to say, I think right now, I think the Falcons need to. I think they
need to switch to Heineke.
We're going to get to do this and this and this. I think they're going to bring it back in. I think he's got to reel it back in this week and just go back to simplifying it. If he does, Atlanta should beat up on the Bucks probably by about 12. If they did, if they bring it, reel it back in and play what they had been doing the first couple of weeks, I think they could have Tampa Bay by 12. I'm going to go with the Falcons.
This is a tough one. I think I'm going to lean more towards Baker and the Bucks just because of the fact of Mike Evans and, and I just think Baker's going to throw less interceptions than Ritter. And could this be the game that Ritter gets benched for Heineke if he's that bad?
If he's that bad again? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Bruiser, Falcons, Bucks.
Buccaneers.
I'm
Mainly-
actually going to...
Oh, you forgot to mention, too, in the injury report that Baker had his hangnail that he was blowing on the sideline, too. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, my God.
What, you didn't see it?
No, can't make
I
it.
did.
Listen, Browns fans can get mad at the ownership and the GM all they want, but trading Baker away for Deshaun Watson is probably the dumbest thing they've ever done. I
just did that because Sean and I have this thing going where Sean likes to back Baker and crap all over Watson, whereas I'm all about supporting either. I've supported Baker when he's here. I support Watson, but it's just a little friendly back and forth.
Now I get it, but there are quite a few Browns fans who are very upset that Baker is doing well, and
Whoa,
Same record.
Baker doing what?
Baker's doing well.
Whatever.
I know you do,
really?
Sean.
Really?
He's on his third team. Well, calm down. Calm down. He's on his third team.
And your quarterback is on his 34th sexual assault allegation?
Brock Purdy is not.
I mean,
how many passes did Brock Purdy complete in the second half of that game?
One.
At least he completed one.
For the record, Baker this season has a 65% completion percentage. He's actually doing okay, which is why I'm going with the Bucks. And frankly, we don't have to do it. I'm not going to do it for you guys, but I would give the points.
Hell, Deshaun Watson hasn't been on the field for 65% of the games.
Moving on to yet another game we don't want to talk about. Raiders at the Bears.
Yeah, this one's got to be only about, 32 points?
It's 37.5, but that is the low point for the week. Raiders are favored by 3 going on the road. And I got to go with the Raiders. Number one, I don't know if Justin Fields is playing. I wish not.
They just had that injury report up there. Hang on.
Doubtful for week 7.
Doubtful. Yep. He's out.
Dislocated thumb on his throwing hand.
Yep. He'd be out.
That's week to week.
Yep. I'll take the Raiders, and Mr. Jacobs all day.
And I will say, I took the Raiders last week and they won. So miracles do happen, and we're going to see if that happens again. Bruiser.
I'll take the Raiders.
Okay. The no Justin Fields just
Hurts.
What does that team have now? And I see we lost Adam. He has vanished.
Oh no!
Well, his room went dark.
It did. The room went dark, which is
His room went dark, and that kind of threw me off a little. Going, uh-oh.
Here we go. Browns, Colts, a barn burner. Again, the over-under is below 40. I said we had 4 of them. They were 4 in a row. So the first 4 games of this week.
If PJ Walker is definitely quarterbacking, the Browns can win by 20.
For the record, I'm going with the Browns on this one. And that's mainly because I really don't have faith in quarterback play for Colts. I understand who it is. I get it. It's just maybe having a week where he knows he's the starter, and he's going to be the starter going forward. I mean, I'm just not feeling it from the Colts. So, Adam, Browns, Colts, and also Raiders, Bears. If you're there.
My internet is like, George must have jinxed me with his internet.
Oh, God.
Well, and I'm far from you.
Have you turned your power on and off to your computer?
Thanks, George.
Oh, no, it's karma for your item there, buddy.
I was gonna say, Adam, you try shutting off the cam.
Yeah.
Just do sound. Maybe.
At least we got your sound.
I have not. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, because I had some Undertaker type stuff going on where my lights flickered and then there was nothing. It was weird.
Interesting. Okay,
but,
Browns, Colts.
Who'd you say, Raiders and Bears? I'm taking the Raiders.
Okay, and then we need Browns, Colts.
Browns.
Okay, all right. Bruiser, did we get you Browns? We didn't. Browns, Colts.
Browns.
Okay. All right, so that's across the board, right? All right.
Big news on the running back front. Just sent it to the group chat. Leonard Fournette talking to the Bills. Might sign with them tomorrow.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah. Hit the waiver wire, people.
Y'all go right ahead. Okay, the game y'all said you wanted to see, Lions Ravens. This should be a good game. The number's only 41.5, which feels low. And Baltimore's favored by 3 at home. So even matchup. I'm curious that they think this is going to be a defensive game.
Well, who else has been signed by Detroit for the running back spots?
Nobody yet. In fact, they lost Bam Knight, who they brought up from the practice squad for that game. He's out for the year. So,
oh, boo.
So not sure. I'm not sure if they even have another running back on the practice squad or if they're going to have to just sign somebody out there.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, I mean, as far as I know, right now it is Gibbs and it's Reynolds. Khalif Raymond can do it if he has to, but he's usually kick returner receiver.
I'm still taking the Lions just because I don't want to pick the Ravens.
Well, James Robinson is out there and available.
Yeah, but what's the holdup? Because even the Giants didn't keep him.
Well, he had a little bit of issue with somebody over there, so that wasn't performance. That was due to locker room politics or something.
Yeah, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything, I brought up the depth chart, and yeah, the running back depth chart for Detroit is Montgomery, who is week to week now, Gibbs, who we're hoping is back, Craig Reynolds, and they've got Zonovan Knight, who's now on IR. So slim pickings.
And you're not getting Adrian Peterson. He's on Dancing with the Stars. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Hey, he did all right while you had him.
He was fine for a little bit.
He was serviceable.
He was serviceable.
That's all you're looking for. I mean, you got Dontrell Hilliard and Benny Snell.
Snell got released.
No, I mean it's like Lions waiver wire top available running backs for them to consider as of 9 hours ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had him in preseason and we cut him. So I mean, he'd at least know the playbook.
Yeah. I'm taking the Lions. I think that I mean it doesn't matter what Lamar thinks he can or hasn't done, but I think the Lions are going to come in and it's going to be, hey, we are for real. So I'm going with Detroit.
I'm going to go with Detroit too, just purely because the role that they're on. I mean, they're just going to keep going until they get stopped, and maybe they do get stopped by Baltimore. But I'm going to ride the wave for as long as I can. They have Divine Ozigbo on the practice squad.
That's a name.
That is a name. They could bring back Jamar Jefferson, who played 7 games for him last year. Like you said, Benny Snell. Yeah. Those would be my 2. I'm skipping the rest. Bruiser, Lions, Ravens.
Oh, Lions all day.
Okay. George, you said Lions. Adam, you said Lions. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Aiden Hutchinson with 3 sacks.
Nice. I'll take it. Okay. The highest spread of the game.
Or the week.
Sorry, of the week, with the away team being favored by 8.5. Your Buffalo Bills versus everybody else's New England Patriots.
Oh, God.
My, how the tables have turned in that. You remember when the Patriots would go anywhere and be the 8.5 point favorite?
And legit, the Patriots might be the worst team in football.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the funny thing is Kelly's boss, who's a Buffalo fan, he goes, yeah, I have noticed you haven't been wearing your Patriots gear lately. I was like, ouch. That's going to sting.
Yikes.
So the number is only 41.5. Now, granted, Buffalo's offense obviously didn't look great. All credit to Cleveland's defense.
Well, the Giants' defense has been stingy against a couple of teams that are usually been highly prolific. So, you ought to see the normal Buffalo Bill butt whooping.
I was going to say, I'm not going against them. I mean, I haven't seen anything out of New England. My question is going to be, who's starting for New England?
Should be Bailey's happy.
We saw multiple quarterbacks this week from them.
Did they flip?
One of them were Zappy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, so is he doing the Wheel of Death this week?
I don't know. You had Mac Jones. You had Malik Cunningham. I have no idea who's starting. Or I'm assuming Mac Jones is starting, but how is this going to work?
On NFL radio, they asked. They said, "What does Bill do?" Because just said, he'd like to get one more before he, takes his dirt nap. And it's like, well, it's either get your crap together or get the hell out of the way.
Because make sure you're seeing your doctor, because it ain't going to be this year.
Right.
Well, that's just the thing. Does Bill turn around and either relinquish off one of the two duties? Do you relinquish off your GM duties, or are you going to go, well, I'll pick the players and just relinquish it to a new coach?
I don't think Bill has the patience to relinquish things to a new coach.
So you think that he'll relinquish the GM duty then?
I don't think he's gonna relinquish either. I think that with what Bill did for that franchise and did in that town, he'll have a job till he doesn't want to have it anymore. He's like Saban in Alabama.
I think if he relinquishes anything, he walks.
Ooh.
It's not going to be I'm giving this up or I'm giving that up. He is.
That's what I said. I think he just flat out retires.
I could see him doing that, but he won't. That job is his until he no longer wants it.
So well, it was during the press conference thing. They said, what should we expect? Or something along the lines of, well, what can we count on? What should we take from you? And he's just like, well, what I've done in the past 25 years. And it's just like, well, everybody's kind of looking at him going, well, what have you done for me lately? 1 and 5.
Well, I think that's the problem with the NFL too, is we're willing to give Tomlin a pass when Tomlin probably should be on the hot seat to get fired because he hasn't done anything lately. And yet
Canada.
And Matt Canada, and yet we can with Bill Belichick, it's we got to fire him right now because the guy hasn't done anything lately.
Huh. I mean, I ain't saying fire him now. Let him play. Let him work out the season. See if he can figure something out. But it's. Let me read these numbers to you.
Sure.
Mac Jones. He started 6 games. Okay, completion percentage of 64. Okay, you'd like higher, but you know what? That's fine to win. His issue: touchdown to interception ratio. 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. When he screws up big and they lose the ball. Bailey Zappi, he's made it in 2 games. Granted, obviously spot duty. 7 completions on 18 attempts for a 38%.
They get that. Isn't that Cunningham dude supposedly like to be a quarterback too? Apparently,
Cunningham played in bits and pieces. So he got into the game. He did not throw the ball.
Interesting. What's up, Scotty? Chipper's comment was very interesting. Tomlin should have been prepared at least 5 years ago. We covered that. That was in a playoff season. I don't know what he was thinking there.
But Bills Patriots. Anybody taking the Patriots? No, don't think so. Okay. Commanders
really? Do we have to? Do we have to?
Yes,
we got to go with that.
We at least have to go through it. Commanders at Giants. Commanders favored by 1.5 on the road. The total's 40.5. I was gonna say it's got a better total than Colts, Browns, Bears, Raiders, Bucks, Falcons, and Saints, Jaguars. Give me the Commanders. I don't know. Yeah, you want the coin? Take the coin.
Dang. I did not want that.
Did it land on its edge?
No, it landed on the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't like the Giants. I want the Commanders.
Okay, take the Commanders. The Scott is screaming at you to take the under.
Right?
I'm also going Commanders. The Giants. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Something is wrong in Denmark, or something's rotten in Denmark. There we go. Bruiser, Commanders, Giants.
Oh, the Commanders for sure.
Adam.
Commanders, because I think I'm going to have to start Sam Howell with all my injuries at quarterbacks.
Good luck to you, sir.
That's let me tell you, that's the best that's on the waiver wire.
Godspeed to you, sir.
Right?
Cardinals at.
You say that and watch, he'll have a great week and knock up.
Well, hey, I got lucky with Justin Fields that way that, I had two quarterbacks out and I picked up Fields against Minnesota 2 weeks ago when he went off.
Yeah.
Cardinals at the Chickens. Sea Chickens.
Oh,
Not
God.
just Chickens.
Hold on. George just said something about knocking up. I'm sorry.
I glossed over it.
If Adam's knocking up anybody, Gail's going to get a little pissed off.
Yeah, them days, my kid's enough. I don't need another one.
Cardinals at Seahawks. Total is 44.5. Seahawks favored by 7.5. Anybody want the Cards?
Yes.
Okay. Bruiser wants the Cards.
No, because I picked them last week against the Rams and they disappointed me, so I'm going the other way so they can win this week.
And George, I know you want the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna ask. Your Pittsburgh Steelers at the Rams. Rams favored by 3. The number's 43.5.
Puka Nakua.
Yeah, is he gonna do something this week?
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
the Steelers secondary is horrible.
You and Jim were picking the Rams.
Adam.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I'm going the Rams because I don't want to pick the Steelers, and I need the Steelers to keep losing so I can win that bet with Suds.
When the Steeler fan is even picking the Rams,
Right. Bruiser, Steelers, Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, definitely Rams. There's no need to analyze that. It's definitely the Rams. We're watching the Chargers tonight. Chargers come back around at the Chiefs. So, Chiefs favored at home by 6. Finally, we hit a number watching at 50.5. Chargers are playing it tight with Dallas right now.
Yeah, and I know you sneaky dog. You picked the Cowboys, and me and Doug both picked the Chargers, trying to sneak in there and get that game out. You'll be tied with me at that point.
Well, my God, I thought we both have 11 picks right now, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was at. Oh my Lord.
it's weird. This could be a trap game just because we know that there's always a couple of games here as we're getting into the beefy part of October. There's just a couple of those weird games that just go even like this past week. It's like, what? And we just went from 2 undefeateds to none.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody saw that coming except for one guy.
And honestly, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say something and I totally forgot about it. It's like you just said, we went in with a couple undefeated teams and now we have none. And again, couple games that we were looking at, it was like, really? They won? I am not saying this was a Halloween week. It was not. This was a shot across the bow, though, that Halloween week is coming.
Mm-hmm. And next week should be no surprise if we get a couple more weird ones going. So I'm going to take the Chargers in the Halloween madness aspect of it. I'm going to take the Chargers on this one. The Chiefs defense is still not there.
They get Frank Clark, it will be.
The Chiefs. So obviously the Chiefs have been winning. The thing is, they've not been winning impressively.
No.
Nope. And Mahomes is just doing little dink and dunk, and you can only do that for so long before everybody's going to figure this crap out, and you're going to wish you had somebody like Hill back. I just
don't know that the Chargers have enough firepower on defense to stop them. I'm going to go with the Chiefs just because. Plus, Chargers going to have a short week since they're playing on Monday. Let me go with the Chiefs. I'm not feeling as good about it as I normally would picking the Chiefs, but that's where I'm going to go. Adam?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs as the lock of the week.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
Can I change my pick?
By all means, sir, go right ahead.
Bruiser. Chargers, Chiefs.
Chargers.
Okay. All right.
Game of the week.
Jordan Love at Russell Wilson.
Oh God.
Can I get this back out of you?
You can do whatever you need to do.
Aaron Jones going to play this week, I hope.
The Packers are coming off the bye week.
They are.
They should win this game.
Okay.
I'm taking the Packers because I have no idea what in the blue hell Russell Wilson is doing, and that defense is running around worse than Firelands, and it's just that bad.
Okay, you asked about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is questionable. However, he did not practice today.
Yeah, which means it'll be Dylan.
Well, because in my ESPN league, I have them both.
It's also Monday, so, with it still being Monday, they got some time. But
I'm going to go with the Packers just because I think they're better slightly.
Yeah.
I just don't trust anything with Denver. I really don't. I mean, what are they? They're so hit and miss, and they came back on the Bears, but that's the Bears. But I'm just gonna go with the Packers.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's only hitting Sutton. It's like he doesn't even want to bother looking for Judy,
which is weird because I see Judy is on like the waiver wire for everybody. Right? Nobody's taking him.
Nope. And both running backs are literally now splitting full time.
Yeah. Believe me, I know. I got that McLaughlin. A whopping 46 points in your league.
I know. I got him. I have him and Williams both. It didn't matter. They both were crap.
Right.
Bruiser, Packers, Broncos.
The Packers.
All right. Sunday night.
This is the game of the week.
Dolphins at the very pissed off Eagles.
Yeah.
Well, let's be realistic. That is Robert Saleh, who is a defensive guru, who you pretty much had known that, hey, if this guy's going to pick apart a team, that's going to be the coach to do it, and he's going to sit there and go, hey, peeps, this is how it's done. If the correct Dolphins defense is there, the Dolphins win this game.
Which is why I'm going with the Eagles, because anytime the Dolphins play a tough defense, they got blown out by Buffalo.
Here's my thing. So Eagles are favored by 2.5 at home, so it's a pick 'em. The number is 52.5. If you hit 52.5 or 53 and above, that's because Miami went off.
Yeah.
So that's the direction I'm leaning right now. Is I'm going Miami, because if it's going to town, then it's Miami taking us there.
Yeah, and I was going to say, until you can stop Hill and Mostert, give me the Dolphins, give me the Fins,
and they've woken up Waddle. So
Yep.
Bruiser, Miami, Philly.
The Eagles.
Adam, did you say
Eagles.
Eagles? Okay. And Monday night.
Oh, dude, I don't want to
What
watch
a
this crap.
letdown. 49ers, and again, a pissed off 49er squad.
Mhm. A very ticked
At a rather
easy.
hapless
Yeah.
Minnesota team.
I think majority of us took Detroit, Scott.
Yeah, I think we all took Detroit.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we all went Detroit. We're questioning running back depth.
Right.
Sounds like my fantasy team in sleeper.
Right. 49ers at Vikings. 49ers are favored by 7 on the road.
Wow.
And the number's 44. Oh, Dolphins Eagles, like I said, was 52 and a half. So 49ers, sure. I mean, did not pick them to lose and they lost, but I'm sure as hell not picking them to lose this game.
Right. Yeah, not to Kirk Cousins, who has worn out his welcome on my fantasy bench or on his starting, and now he's going to go sit his ass on the bench.
And remember, he hadn't won a Monday night game until that one last year when he finally jumped the schneid. So I think he's back on to losing Monday Night Football.
Yeah, thank the Browns because they're going to be. I mean, San Francisco's going to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the question though: do you
It's
start
gonna
Jordan
be,
Addison?
sorry, you thought Brock Purdy was a game manager? Watch him put up 300 or 400 yards.
I'm sorry. I want to bring something up real quick, not to throw shade. Who the hell put Brock Purdy's name in the same sentence as Tom Brady about a week and a half ago?
Wasn't me.
I distinctly remember seeing that in the chat. Whoever that was.
I think you found your culprit in the bottom there.
Yeah. Okay. Slow. Anyway. back to 49ers Vikings. Anybody want the Vikings?
Back the truck up. I got no problem. I'll back it up.
No, I think Brandon Ayuk goes off this week.
Okay. Bruiser.
Ray will too.
Oh, no. I don't want the Vikings. That's like, no.
No, back.
And then this comment's fitting from Scott. Throw it up there.
I saw that. So the question: do you start Jordan Addison this week? I don't know.
Yeah.
If you can. It's maybe. I just against this defense. I don't know.
Well, if you don't start Addison, do you start Osborne or you don't start either one?
I don't know that I start anybody from Minnesota.
And who does Minnesota have as a running back? Because, yeah, he hasn't got anything this year as far as I know.
I think I give a choice in a couple of leagues.
The ghost of Dalvin Cook.
Or Cam Akers, who's supposed to be there but hasn't even played yet.
I thought I saw he got one carry.
Oh, I'm sorry. One carry.
I don't even know what it was. It was pathetic. All right. That's the picks as we know them and love them. Watch your buys this week, everybody.
Yeah, I'm screwed in your league.
Next week you're free and clear. Yeah, not a whole lot of great games this week. I mean, just stick to your red zone. You'll be happy. Well, I ain't promising nothing, but good luck to everybody on their fantasy. Anybody got anything they want to bring up? It's already almost 10:30. We are way the hell over. Grant, we started late.
No.
Cool.
Monday Night Football is a whopping 10-10.
Yay. I was going to say, hope you didn't take the over.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for George on Cam 2, for IP Freely, and for Brock Who, I am too good to host. So we will see y'all next week.